It's time now for today's Focus Reports, and we head to Germany where the final days of campaigning are winding down ahead of this weekend's federal elections. Immigration and integration are key issues for the electorate this time round, with former fringe party Alternative für Deutschland in bullish form. Their anti-immigration stance is resonating with voters, even in Angela Merkel's backyard. And Maillet and Jessica Saltz have today's Focus Report.
In Schwerin, the capital of Meklemburg Western Pomerania, one topic is dominating the regional election campaigns: refugees. 1.6 million people live in this region in former East Germany. The immigration rate is the lowest in the country, and yet people here talk about little else.
I'm very critical of everything that's happening now. I'm a patriot. I think like a patriot. I feel patriotic. And these refugees are not real refugees because before arriving in Germany, they had to travel through other countries that were safe. And I do not see why they had to come here.
I support AfD because it is the only party, apart from the neo-Nazi party, that opposes this migration. And I do not want our beautiful city of Schwerin to become like Cologne, Hamburg, or Berlin in a few years' time. That is my main concern.
They are here to support Petra Frederau, the AfD candidate for the city. The German anti-immigration party has enjoyed a meteoric rise in recent months. Frederau is best known for her racist online comments and for her past involvement in prostitution, but that hasn't stopped her from topping the list in Schwerin.
We have plenty of conflicts that are swept under the carpet. I've been a local councillor for 2 years, and therefore I'm aware of everything that's happening here. How the people feel, their financial concerns and safety concerns. All these things many just won't speak about, based on the principle that if newspapers don't mention it, then it doesn't exist.
The region received only 2% of the million asylum seekers who arrived in Germany last year, but the AfD still blames them for everything, especially since the jihadist attacks this summer. The migrants are the first to pay the price. We meet Shaima in a cafe. She has lived here for 8 months and has felt the atmosphere change.
In the evening, I'm afraid, because there are many racist people here. During the day, it's okay. I can go out for a walk. But I am reassured when it's a bit crowded with people around. But not at night. I would not walk alone at night around here.
The number of racist attacks in the region has tripled in the last year, while the number of crimes committed by foreigners has decreased. According to this Green MP, it is difficult to explain this fear of immigration.
When people are asked why they're afraid, they mention the attacks in Cologne and in Munich. They mention terror attacks. Another reason that might explain this attitude of rejection, even though this shouldn't be used as an excuse, is that after German reunification in 1990, people here had to start a new life in a new country from scratch. Many of them still feel left behind and are afraid they might soon be losing more.
A year after the migration crisis started, the rise of populism is a concern for the government. But the elections in Meklemburg Western Pomerania could prove particularly bitter for Angela Merkel. This is the electoral stronghold of the Chancellor, and she has made many public appearances recently in order to defend her policies.
This migration crisis has indeed been used to recruit terrorists. This was the case with some of the terrorists who attacked Paris, with Islamic State operatives being smuggled in as refugees. But Islamist terrorism isn't something new, something which has arrived alongside the refugees. It's a problem that was already there before.
There is a clear distinction between refugees and terrorists, the Chancellor insisted in her address, and she promised more police and security. But nonetheless, according to recent polls, nearly 1 voter in every 4 is preparing to vote for the right of the right. Assam follows the news carefully every day. He arrived in Germany last October. The mathematician learnt German in Syria and dreamed of one day discovering the country. The war precipitated his departure. Today, he is afraid he will have to leave the region soon.
I hope it does not happen, but hope is not always enough. I think the situation is bound to get worse for us because some are using this crisis to win elections at our expense. I hope this won't have too big of an impact on us refugees, but also on the German society, as I think they've already experienced similar situations before.
1 year after the start of the migration crisis, the AfD has become the third political force in the country. This is the biggest achievement for a far-right party since the Second World War.
This is France 24. Do stay with us, lots more still to come.